Welcome to the EMP Media channel. In this video, we introduce you to the top 10 best drama movies of 2021. If you want to know what the best drama movies are, watch this video to the end. In your opinion, which drama movies are among the top 10 movies of 2021? Please write your comments for us. In order not to miss our new videos, please subscribe us.
Number 10.
Excuse me. I'm looking for somewhere. I've absolutely no idea where I am.
Spencer, a drama film. Directed by Pablo Larraín. With and stars Kristen Stewart, Jack Farthing, Sally Hawkins, Timothy Spall, Sean Harris. Diana Spencer, struggling with mental health problems during her Christmas holidays with the royal family at their Sandringham estate in Norfolk, England, decides to end her decade-long marriage to Prince Charles. Decades after her death, Princess Diana remains a fascinating and tragic public figure. Pablo Larraín's Spencer is deeply intrigued by the late royal's spiraling mental state over the course of a 3-day Christmas retreat with her family. Written by Stephen Knight, Spencer is an intimate portrait of a woman trapped within the confines of the royal institution that favors tradition and propriety above all else. The film is often suffocating as it captures Diana's headspace, with Larraín's direction making her seem small within the trappings of the lavish grounds. Heavy-handed and unnecessarily long, Spencer explores Diana as a prisoner of the royal family in heart-wrenching and beautifully haunting fashion.
Number 9.
They didn't fight over land or crown. They fought over their own skins.
House of Gucci, a drama and crime film. Directed by Ridley Scott. With and stars Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jared Leto, Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino. When Patrizia Reggiani, an outsider from humble beginnings, marries into the Gucci family, her unbridled ambition begins to unravel their legacy and triggers a reckless spiral of betrayal, decadence, revenge, and ultimately, murder. It's been over 26 years since the murder of Maurizio Gucci, who once ran his family's famous fashion business. The crime made headlines and rocked the fashion industry. House of Gucci not only revisits that moment, but ventures back 2 decades to build up the relationships, the conflict, and the events leading up to his death. Directed by Ridley Scott from a screenplay by Becky Johnston and Roberto Bentivegna, who draw from the book, The House of Gucci, a sensational story of murder, madness, glamour, and greed, by Sarah Gay Forden, House of Gucci boasts strong performances and is hammy enough to be occasionally enjoyable, but falls flat in the overall effectiveness of its story.
Number 8.
Bill tells me a good friend of yours was on one of the planes, 9/11.
Bruce Taylor.
The Mauritanian, a drama and thriller film. Directed by Kevin MacDonald. With and stars Tahar Rahim, Jodie Foster, Benedict Cumberbatch, Shailene Woodley, Zachary Levi, the true story of the Mauritanian Mohamedou Ould Slahi, who was held at the U.S. military's Guantanamo Bay Detention Center without charges for over a decade and sought help from a defense attorney for his release. The efforts made to get Mohamedou out of Guantanamo are tedious, but the Mauritanian never falls into the steady pattern of a stale courtroom drama, though it dips into the legal waters frequently enough. The film, based on Slahi's real-life experiences and the memoir he wrote while imprisoned, doesn't shy away from critiquing the abhorrent treatment of Mohamedou, including the quite disturbing torture tactics used to coerce a confession, and the government policies and red tape that uphold the corrupt system that would rather keep Mohamedou behind bars on the mere suspicion of wrongdoing without just cause. While Slahi's case primarily unfolds through the lens of his lawyers and their revelations, he is never set aside as the film's main character, with MacDonald honing in on some of Slahi's backstory and his harrowing experiences during his years at Guantanamo.
Number 7.
Burial mounds, I expect. We're standing in someone's graveyard, I reckon. Viking? Oh, maybe older.
The Dig, a drama and history film. Directed by Simon Stone. With and stars Carey Mulligan, Ralph Fiennes, Lily James, Johnny Flynn. The Dig ends by referencing World War II and the uncertain fates of the main characters. The Netflix film tells the real-life story of the Sutton Hoo burial site that was excavated in Suffolk, England, which is detailed in John Preston's eponymous 2007 novel. While The Dig is indeed based on real events, the characters are fictionalized for the sake of accessible storytelling and to thematically underline the concepts of perseverance and legacy. Set in 1939, The Dig's storyline precedes Great Britain's entrance into World War II. The narrative begins with Edith Pretty, Carey Mulligan, a widow, hiring an amateur excavator, Basil Brown, Ralph Fiennes, to research what may lie beneath her property. When a 6th-century Saxon ship is discovered, professional archaeologists are enlisted for the historic project. As the focal dig reveals even more surprises, such as a burial site full of treasure, the Netflix movie incorporates various subplots to explore the perspectives of each main character, and what the future may hold for them as World War II intensifies.
Number 6.
Come here, let's see what he done. Well, that's gonna scar, buddy boy. Oh, you think so? Frankenstein time.
West Side Story, a drama and romance film. Directed by Steven Spielberg. With and stars Ansel Elgort, Rachel Zegler, Rita Moreno, Ariana DeBose, David Alvarez. Inspired by William Shakespeare's classic Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story takes the audience to the 1950s to meet rival street gangs the Jets, a white gang, and the Sharks from Puerto Rico. Their conflict only grows when Tony, Ansel Elgort, a former Jet, falls in love with Maria, Rachel Zegler, the sister of the Sharks leader, Bernardo, David Alvarez. The 1961 version of West Side Story, starring Natalie Wood and Richard Beymer, is regarded as one of the greatest musical movies ever made, and with Steven Spielberg now on the lead.
Number 5.
How old is she?
She's 10, but her voice is going on 30, honey.
Respect is a drama and biography film. Directed by Liesl Tommy. With and stars Jennifer Hudson, Forrest Whitaker, Marlon Wayans, Audra McDonald, Mary J. Blige. The film begins with Aretha, Ree for short, being awakened by her father C.L. Franklin, Forrest Whitaker, a well-known minister, to sing for those gathered at the house. Even at the age of 10, Aretha has a tremendous voice and stage presence, one that her father exploits in her youth. Respect then goes on to cover Aretha's life from 1952 to the mid-1970s, through her attempts at making hits with Columbia Records before deciding to leave them to sign with Atlantic, where she worked with producer Jerry Wexler, Mark Maron, and was managed by her first husband, Ted White, Marlon Wayans, whose performance here is revelatory. Interspersed between Aretha's goals to make hits and her rising stardom are moments from her life that are largely glossed over or treated like footnotes, including the death of her mother Barbara, Audra McDonald, her mental health, and Ted's domestic abuse.
Number 4.
I usually write a song in a day. Last week I wrote a song about sugar. It took me 3 hours.
A song about sugar?
Tick Tick Boom is a drama and western film. Directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. With and stars Andrew Garfield, Alexandra Shipp, Robin de Jesus, Vanessa Hudgens, Joshua Henry. John Andrew Garfield, a young theater composer, is waiting tables at a New York City diner in 1990 while writing what he hopes will be the next great American musical. Days before he's due to showcase his work in a make-or-break performance, John is feeling the pressure from everywhere, from his girlfriend Susan, who dreams of an artistic life beyond New York City, from his friend Michael, who has moved on from his dream to a life of financial security, amidst an artistic community being ravaged by the AIDS epidemic. With the clock ticking, John is at a crossroads and faces the question everyone must reckon with: what are we meant to do with the time we have?
Number 3.
What little lady made these?
Actually, I did, sir.
The Power of the Dog is a drama and western film. Directed by Jane Campion. With and stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Plemons, Cody Smith-McPhee. Charismatic rancher Phil Burbank inspires fear and awe in those around him. When his brother brings home a new wife and her son, Phil torments them until he finds himself exposed to the possibility of love. The Power of the Dog is an unexpected film, taking its audience on a surprising, complex journey that is so nuanced it would take more than one viewing to appreciate everything about it. Written and directed by Jane Campion, the Western is breathtaking as it explores masculinity in its many forms, peeling back the layers by way of two very different men in the fading rancher life of the Old West. Based on Thomas Savage's novel of the same name, Campion's The Power of the Dog, her first since 2009's Bright Star, is unflinching in its depth and analysis, visually stunning, captivating, and bolstered by exceptional performances.
Number 2.
CODA is a drama and romance film. Directed by Sean Hayter. With and stars Amelia Jones, Marlee Matlin, Troy Kotsur, Eugenio Derbez, Ferdia Walsh-Pilo. Teenager Ruby Rossi, Amelia Jones, is the titular CODA, or a child of deaf adults. When not in school, she spends her time assisting her family as their interpreter for all things. This means when her well-intentioned but indelicate parents Frank and Jackie, Troy Kotsur and Marlee Matlin, come down with an STD, she must tag along for the doctor's appointment to translate. Ruby's one true passion is singing, and with the encouragement of her choir teacher Mr. Villalobos, Eugenio Derbez, who is so much fun, she soon begins dreaming of attending music school. However, with her family on the verge of starting a new fishing business, Ruby is torn between her loyalty to them and her desire to find her own path.
Number 1.
They work as hard as they need to stay off these streets. I'm in the champion raising business.
King Richard is a drama and history film. Directed by Reynaldo Marcus Green. With and stars Will Smith, Anjanou Ellis, Sanaya Sidney, Demi Singleton, Tony Goldwyn. King Richard follows the titular character, Smith, as he hustles, coaches, and pushes his daughters, Venus, Sanaya Sidney, and Serena, Demi Singleton, 2 of 5 sisters in the Williams household, towards professional tennis careers. Richard wastes no time, pitching their talent to notable names in the tennis industry in a bid to get them coaches for free. The Compton-based family can't afford the outrageous fees and equipment that wealthy rich white families can so easily spend on, and so Richard has a plan. On the road toward getting Venus and Serena what they need to succeed, including plenty of study and recreational time, Richard is always on the move and with a vision of the future. That often meant clashing with others, including his wife Oracene, Brandy, Price, Ingenue Ellis, and coach Rick Matchy, John Bernthal, about what is and isn't best for his daughters. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, subscribe to our channel and like the video.